Too Hard, Too Fast podcast polls. People get to vote. Which is more likely to be real? Love at first sight or trust at first sight?
Ooh,
I'm just I didn't mean to influence.
I believe.
you know what? That's a pretty deep question, man. That's like a totally caught me off guard.
I know.
Like which one's legit?
Well, no, it's because the guest is a fan of the podcast. She also says she knows you. And she wanted it to be a surprise.
And she's a financial advisor?
I think so. I think I may get it wrong, but I think that's what she told me. This is too hard, too fast. We don't check facts, not even on the fact of who our guest is. Just kidding.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, welcome back to Too Hard, Too Fast, the podcast with strong opinions about things that we may or may not know too much about. Ooh, that's a new shirt.
Hell yeah. I'll tell you about it right now.
In order to broaden perspectives, today's episode, we're going to talk some financial advisory, but it's not advice, so, don't come after us.
It's not nonsense, but all right.
We'll get into it, but
I have a lot of advice for people out there.
Before we bring in our guest,
we have a guest?
Yes, we have a guest.
Man, George doesn't tell me anything anymore, dude. Right.
Well, no, it's because the guest is a fan of the podcast. She also says she knows you. And she wanted it to be a surprise.
And she's a financial advisor?
I think so. I think I may get it wrong, but I think that's what she told me. This is too hard, too fast. We don't check facts, not even on the fact of who our guest is. Just kidding.
Yeah, go ahead.
I do know her. I know her personally, but she says that she knows you, and it would be a fun surprise. Are you ready? Are you surprised
that she knows me?
I was very surprised that she knows.
Okay, well, shit. So we didn't go to college with her then.
Huh?
So we didn't go to college with her.
Well, how about I just bring her on?
Find out, dude. We'll find out.
Can I just bring her on? Are you ready for her?
Oh, are we gonna do the beer? All right, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, we're gonna do the beer review with her.
All right. Wait, really quick. Just want to give a shout out to Mission Trail. They're gonna change their name to 3 Missions. Check them out. I got this new shirt from Jago. Boom. And I'm gonna be drinking some New England from 3 Missions. All right, bring her in, bro. Let's find out.
No, I don't think
oh, shoot.
Do you know her?
Yeah, I do, bro. I'm in trouble now. Shoot.
What's up? You guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
You sound great.
Awesome.
Oh, shoot. I'm nervous now.
Dang, what's up? Should I call you Big Worm?
Yeah, whatever.
I think her whole plot was to get on the podcast just so she can come ambush you.
I know. So she told you.
Yeah, she's told me the story. We're friends. Okay, so when you were asking me how we know each other, we'll get into it more in a little bit.
She went to Olu.
Yeah, we've been friends since back in the day.
But I need to grab my beer. I was waiting, and then I was like, well, my beer's getting hot, so let me get it real quick.
Oh, shit, that's my fault.
So while we're waiting for the beer, let's sit back, buckle up, let's go too hard, too fast.
Boom.
Welcome back.
Welcome to Too Hard, Too Fast.
Too hard, too fast.
Too hard, too fast.
Too hard, too fast.
Welcome to Too Hard, Too Fast.
Well, welcome back to Too Hard, Too Fast, where we're addicted to success.
Hell yeah.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen.
The podcast of the century.
All right, she has her beer. I got my beer.
Dang.
I know.
I was looking for a beer to bring on. She made a special request, and I couldn't find it. So I brought this on, and I'm almost done with it.
He gave me a 2-hour. He gave me a 2-hour notice. I googled it. I couldn't find it.
It's okay. I couldn't find it either. Surprisingly, I saw my friend who lives in Austin, and he had it. And I'm like, oh, it's out because it's a seasonal beer. But I found the same brand with a different one, different flavor. So I've never tried it. So that's what I'm gonna try.
So let's get into the beer reviews. Then we get into the thick of it. Speaking of thick, that's not a joke on you, Worm. I know we're both getting real fat. Clarissa, what do you drink? Oh, I should say, since I didn't say your name, Clarissa Castillo, financial advisor. That's what I've been saying since the
Financial professional is probably better because I just don't dabble in one thing. We do a lot of different things, so it's probably the best term. But yeah, financial professional finance is kind of what I do.
Who needs
Yeah.
labels?
She, she's kind of my boss for
No,
some part-time thing that
I'm not his
I'm
boss.
still in training for, but it's like
Kind of went MIA, but like I said, I'm like that girl on Wedding Crashers, like I'll find you.
Well, hey, sometimes he goes MIA for this podcast, and I have to look for different hosts.
Well, yeah, I listened to some of the podcasts and I was like, okay. I was like, so I'm glad that you were able to come back, and then I'm gonna be one of your first guests. So that sounds really good.
yeah.
Can I go ahead and try it already? Because I feel
Yeah,
like
go ahead. What are you drinking? Drink it up.
so I don't even know, and I like this brand, but I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's so sad. It's like Leinenkugels or Leinenkugels, something like that. It's a berry Weiss. It says, right? Is that what it? A Weiss or Weiss? I don't know. I'm not.
Weiss?
It's okay. This is too hard, too fast. We don't check facts.
I'm like, so beer. It's a Weiss beer with natural berry flavors and blackberry juice, and it's only 4.7 alcohol, so not that much. But I'm a girl. I like fruity kind of taste, so we're gonna try it. Let me see.
Okay. Well, if it's fruity, I'm glad we couldn't find it.
So,
I'm just joking.
It tastes really good. It tastes really yummy. It pretty much just tastes like a berry beer, which I like.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, if you like berry or like the apple ciders and all that, probably like this.
Yeah.
is
okay.
it so compared to the price with the alcohol content? What rating, or even the label? Do you think the label's pretty cool?
Yeah, it's pretty cute.
Eye-catching.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
with a name like
well,
Lincoln Kegels or whatever. What did you call it?
I'm like, I don't know.
Kegels.
One of my colleagues was like, that sounds like a position, like he's like, oh, she got into the Leinenkugel. Anyways, but the cool thing is, I'm in finance, and one of the biggest things is we want people to. I just tell people save money, right? Whatever you can, like that's the best thing. That's like wealthy people why they have money because they save it. And so this one, it was like $6.57 on sale at HEB, and it's regular like $10. So I was like, score. I was like, new beer on sale.
That's
For
a good price.
like for a sixer, yeah, it's super good price.
So 1.0 to 2 using decimals, what would you rate it?
I would probably get like a 1.7. I was fairly surprised with it. I don't really drink too much beer, so it was good for me. Like not a really big beer drinker. I drink beer, right? But I like wine. I'm like the artist you had on the other day where he was like, I'm an artist. I like wine, right?
Was that my cousin?
Yeah, your cousin. He's real cool. He seems really nice.
Yeah, he's all right. Well, let me show off a shirt I just bought from him yesterday.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
That's cool.
El Paso represent. We got people out in El Paso.
Yeah. You're from El Paso too? No, right?
No,
You're from
Marisa
San
is
Antonio.
though.
Yeah,
Our
yeah.
friend Marisa is.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like 1.7.
1.7.
Is she okay with us mentioning her name on here?
Yeah, she's all good.
All right. Then I guess she has to be a guest next.
Hey.
Darwin, what are you drinking?
You'll get mad at me too. All right. All right. So, hey, Clarissa, I've been vaccinated. No, I'm just playing it.
Yeah, you already got my second.
Because I haven't. But I'm taking off my mask. Okay.
Go for it.
All right. So,
I know what you look like.
That's fine.
She was pre-prepped.
I just don't want people from like New York to know what I look like. That's about it. All right, this is my cousin's beer. I got it yesterday. To be honest, they didn't label it, so I don't know if it's the New England or if it's the 5C beer. But let's see. Let's find out though. But I'm gonna pour it into this glass. It's a nice color. So. Oh, it's the 5C. So the 5C, it's pretty good. It has like
That's the one where one of the C's is cocaine.
Actually, someone had told them make one of the C's cocaine, but
it was me. I told him. It was me on the podcast. I told him.
Oh, well, he told that story yesterday to a bunch of people. Yeah, this is a 5C. It's pretty good. I think it's a nice color. My cousin came up with it, so I'm a little biased, right? And but no, it's pretty good. I think it's 5.7% alcohol. I drive 3 hours to come get it, 3.5. So I give it a 1.71.
171 with a little bit of bias.
It's a little bit of bias. No, but no, it really is pretty good. Though.
I think that extra 0.2 for the growler, like you're trying to save the environment.
Yeah, that's true. I am. Can't throw away bottles and stuff. See, so right, recycle.
All right, let's get to it.
What are you drinking, George?
This Howler Head banana whiskey. It's from Dana White, UFC. It took me forever to find it. I don't think it's out in a lot of places, but I finally found a place that had it, and it tastes like bananas. Clearly, I've been drinking it. It's done. I thought I had more than I thought I did, but it really does taste like banana. What I like about it is that most flavored whiskeys or any liquor, they kind of like go down to like 35% alcohol, 30% alcohol. This stays at 40%, and it tastes like banana. The only thing I do like taste a lot of is that Laffy Taffy banana. Have you ever had that?
Like that artificial banana kind of taste?
Yeah, so I don't know if it's artificial flavoring or not. It doesn't say. I'm not gonna look at it right now, but that's what it reminds me of, the Laffy Taffy banana. It's not bad. I do like it. I would buy it again. I'm giving it a 1.71. I think we're all in the 7.
Oh, we're on 1.7.
1.71. So, Howler Head whiskey, banana whiskey. That's what we're drinking.
We're on the same page, huh?
Hey, so now that we're done with our beer reviews, very quick, I forgot how I reacted. How did I react? I got scared.
I think you were more of a, oh shit, I'm caught.
Oh, shit. She found me.
I was expecting like oh yeah, like happy and like I know you.
Well, no, because I have failed to fulfill my responsibilities, dude. That's why.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all in good time. Because it's funny and this will be a conversation we can have later, but I mean, listen to your other podcasts, bro. You're ready for something on your own because you're sick and tired of working for other people, being told what to do, when to do it. Like
George tells me to do that shit all the time. I know, you're right.
Hey, what are you trying to do? Trying to knock him off the podcast? I already have a hard enough time to bring him on.
No, I mean, he wants to do the podcast more. He needs to do more things for himself. Like you were saying, like not dedicate all, like call off from work to do the podcast. Who cares?
Yeah.
Mostly because you think about it, like tomorrow, something happens to you by Monday, they already have a posting to replace your job.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And to be honest, I'm okay if something happens to me tomorrow. You know why? Because I'm going to heaven. So it's all good.
Amen.
To be honest, I'm looking. You know what, Jordan? I'm gonna go too hard, too fast. I look forward to death. I look forward to the end of the world. It's all good. That's why I drink. Because tomorrow, we don't know. You know what I mean?
Oh, my goodness, dude. Last podcast,
I went dark.
with a death question. When I asked Jim Eddy about dying. Okay, and now we need to move away from the death talk.
No. Let's talk about death. Let's talk about life insurance. Huh? Clarissa, you like that? I gave her a perfect opening.
Oh, my gosh. You guys.
No, but... Hey, on the real, I've been trying to study for a life insurance license and stuff. So
that's the first license he's got to get. But
yeah, that's the first license I gotta get. And so I have this whole study guide I created for myself, and then I do try to look at it and everything. So
mira.
Nevertheless, I'm behind though. There's only a certain time period I have, and so I totally exceeded my own deadlines. And so, but it's all right.
Good. Like I said, time means everything. So.
Yeah. But I have no one to blame but myself, though. So.
I love the accountability, right? Like I'm taking the responsibility.
I gotta be responsible. Yeah.
How did Worm come across your desk? I should say,
so
all the Lou connections, man.
I mean, it's all about networking. Like you think about it, like it's really about like who you know. It's how you get connected with different people, but. So he knows Marisa, which is one of our licensed agents out there in El Paso that's helping us expand out there.
Oh, I should go visit her, huh? While I'm in town.
Yeah, you should. And so she's out there in El Paso, and I guess they know each other from Olu, right? And
Yeah.
he, was open to making extra money and things like that. So sat down with him, talked to him more. It's kind of the same things I was talking to you about, and the rest is kind of history. He decided.
Did you convince George? Is George on board?
I'm very unconvincible about a lot of things.
Yeah, he is, dude. He's scared about. He won't even use a Wendy's app because they're gonna steal my information. I'm like, dude, they already have your freaking information.
The Wendy's app is kind of like whack though, because like they don't even give you like rewards. You can't even order curbside. Like,
I know.
Okay.
You know
The
what this
McDonald's.
guy does? No, you know what? He makes me drive through the drive-through of Wendy's while he's ordering
That was
Wendy's
one time, by the
on the
way,
Wendy's app, and I'm like, what the? Why do you have an app for? It's like I hate downloading apps on my phone. I don't need an extra little thing on it.
Now, if there was a Chacho's app, you better believe we'd be driving through the Chacho's drive-through. But I don't think they have an app. I haven't looked. Do they? No.
Clarissa doesn't eat chachos anymore.
I'm like, yeah, tacos, man. That reminds me of like back in the day, being out all night and then being so hungry and just going to tacos after. Yeah,
Me being here in El Paso, I wish there was a app for Chicos, but shoot.
I've never had Chico's tacos.
Oh my!
I know.
Come visit, Marissa.
You're better off.
Tell her to no. George loves it. He won't admit it. He loves it.
You don't like
I
it?
like-
El Paso.
I like-
Take you.
I like the flavor. I don't like the after effects, and we don't need to get into all that.
Yeah. I'm like,
It is rotten tomatoes, but that's what gives it flavor. You know what I mean?
But they're like soggy tacos, right?
It depends. If you leave them there for a while, yeah. But initially,
You're like,
no,
not me.
they're
You're like,
basically just flautas, and then you just put tomato soup, or special tomato soup, and then with some cheese, and then it tastes pretty good.
interesting.
Yeah.
I'll have to try them next time I go out there.
So what have you told George about
I don't know.
Are we allowed to?
Ask me
Are we allowed to
questions.
talk about your company? Are you able to advertise your company on here?
I mean, yeah, we were just gonna talk about, I don't know, whatever you guys want to talk about. I mean, whatever.
I mean, George literally told me maybe 5 minutes before you came on, hey, there's a surprise guest, and I can't tell you now. I'm all right. And then and I got scared when I saw you because I'm like, damn. But I told her, but then but 5 minutes before he said she's a financial advisor. So I started thinking of all this stuff. Cool. Want to get into real estate because I'm about to sell my house, crypto, all this stuff. So, and I need
So
your
we're
advice.
gonna get to all that, and we're gonna get to some advice.
And my alcohol problem too.
What
how
you
it can
do.
make
We're gonna
benefit
get
from-
into what you provide for people, the services you provide for people. But before we get to that, we want to know where you started from. So you're from San Antonio, Texas, born and raised.
Pretty much born and raised. I lived in Corpus Christi, Texas when I was like younger, like 2 to 9. But we moved back to San Antonio and been here ever since. I graduated from Olu with my degree in communication disorders. So I was
The one
Uh-oh.
question all San Antonio people need to know is what high school you went to.
High school. You look like a
Breckenridge
Jefferson High School.
I went to Breckenridge High School. So the crazy
Breckenridge.
thing is, okay, this is the thing. Like back in the day, like it wasn't really popping. It was like, but you go now, there's like Southtown there, the Riverwalk extension. Like it's nice. It's like, dang, like you can be proud to go to that school now and say like, hey, yeah, like it's super nice. But when we were there, it was like a creek back there. It wasn't even the Riverwalk extension. It was just a creek. You know, the kids went back there to do bad things, if you know what I mean.
Oh, shit. That's what George would do. In high school.
Exactly. Just kidding.
We waited to we were under the bleachers. 'Cause
That's
I'm
what
not
you
from
said.
San
we
Antonio.
had a place in our high school. It was called the Happy Corner.
Oh, okay.
Dang.
Okay. Nice.
And now he just no, I'm not gonna
It
say
wasn't even a corner. It was like a canal. So stupid. I know. We're dumb.
Okay, so you went to Olu, and that's where we met. And actually, you were probably one of the first people that I became friends with at Olu.
Yeah, because you're like a year young or a couple years younger, like a year or two younger, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know. Actually, I don't.
I don't know
I
either.
felt like when I met you, you were older.
I was-
Obviously, you're still older than me.
Yeah. I was definitely even a year or two older, but I remember that we became friends really quickly. Like it was just like kind of like an instant, just like friendship, and it was really cool. And yeah, like just funny stories. Like if we were gonna talk about like George used to get people into like we weren't even 21, or maybe I was 21 and they weren't. But he was getting people into like this one like dance club place like all the time. He's like, come on, this is the place to go.
Well, yeah. No. That's perfect. I'm glad you brought that up. So the place, I don't remember if it was called Lone Star or Red Zone, or it was called both names, but I don't know which one came first.
At the time.
At some point, I was 18, maybe 19 years old, and me and three other guys kind of became like the regulars at this place. And 18, 19-year-old, we were all 18 and 19. And then we would talk about it at school, and it became a college bar. So everybody at Olu was there, and it's like, bring them in. It's like, they're cool with you, yeah, they bring them in. And then all of a sudden they got shut down for a little bit because they found out that 18 and 19-year-old kids under age 21, they were going in there. And I'm not advocating for it. It was a different time, a different place.
It was pre-pandemic.
Yeah, like pre-pandemic.
Yeah,
That's like one of the things I remember about George. I was like, remember when you used to get us all into that bar? We weren't even 21, and he was like, "Oh, I forgot about that."
What, they wouldn't ask for ID or what?
No, at first no, and then they got shut down and they changed their name, and then they ended up asking for IDs. But since we were the ones bringing in people, we still just walked in like we owned the place, and then there was a few people that we could bring in without having to be checked or anything. So maybe I should not say their name. I don't know if they still exist.
I don't think that. I think it's a restaurant now. That place.
Oh, okay, fair enough then.
My favorite club was Antro. Did you guys ever go to Antro?
Oh my gosh! Don't even talk about Antro.
Hey, that's your too hard, too fast story. Tell us.
That is probably. Oh gosh, I didn't even know if I was gonna want to say this on the internet, but I guess so.
You got it now.
It's gonna be
till the end. So my 21st birthday.
Don't say it yet. Don't say it yet.
Let's do it now.
That's to the end. We'll save that for the end.
I'll save it. I think just that is enough, right? My 21st.
Yeah, that's a little teaser. But you didn't graduate as a financial person, or?
No, I didn't. I graduated with my degree in communication disorders. Fancy title for like a speech therapist. So I went to school to be a speech therapist, and I did do that for about 7.5 years. I really liked it.
Jen.
I do know Jen. I mean, her and Jorge, or George, sorry. I sometimes call him both.
Whatever you want.
They've been together since college, since Olu. So yeah, like you should. Yeah, I mean, I know who she is. Probably maybe not remember me as much. Huh?
She was basically my roommate also.
Yeah, right. And I want to say that I feel like me and George met through was it? I don't even know how we met. I don't remember.
Awakening.
Someone that I was dating or something. I don't know.
I don't remember how we met. I know we just met and we just hung out.
That's all I know too. I don't even remember. But, right? We're friends, and that's all that matters.
But
yeah, I was a speech therapist, and I did that, and I like it because I like to help people. That's part of one of my things because I am a woman of faith. I know you only talk about religion, George, but
I bring it up all the time. Let's hear about your theology, Clarissa.
No, it's okay, right? But
I'm just a faker. Look what's on the wall.
Oh, yeah, I love it. I love it.
You know what? I don't like to show it off. I'm just kidding.
But just being a woman of faith, I want to make sure that like what I do is like a vocation. I'm serving. I'm making a difference. I'm making an impact. Being significant in people's lives. And even if it's just individual people, right? Like I think that's the best thing is like when we're like searching for that bigger significance, sometimes you just have to look at the people around you. And if you can make an impact in those people's lives, like that's more than what like God, the universe, like wants you to do. You know what I mean? And so that's why I like doing speech therapy, but then that's why I like doing what I do now, because now I feel it's like on a bigger scale. Like I was just helping children before, but now I can help families, parents, their children, their grandchildren. It's just like really just like changing legacies and like changing like the generational curse that most of us have when it comes with like money and like saving it and investing it, because most of us, we just never been taught about how to do it.
The cycle of poverty.
Exactly.
Which a lot of times it's just a mentality. It's not necessarily your circumstance.
You're right. It is. Sometimes it's all about perspective too. Because think about it, like you could be like, there's a difference between being broke and being poor, right? Like you could be broke, like not have have only a penny to your name, but that doesn't mean you're poor, because your poor is like your spirit. Like your poor is like, you know what I mean? So there's a difference. You could be completely broke. Doesn't mean you're poor, because you're still rich in life, or still know that, hey, that's just money. I can go get it. I can go make it if I really need it. You know what I mean? So
right.
that's totally like what our company and what we do is just like trying to change that cycle of poverty and just educate people. Nice. Pretty much.
What is the cycle of poverty like more?
Well, I would say, maybe not even cycle of poverty, just cycle of like being stuck in that rut of like, how do we get ahead, right? Because I feel like a lot of people or a lot of families, like they feel that way. They're like, man, or like I sit down with so many people, they literally are like, I don't ever see myself retiring because I don't think financially I can. And that is so sad.
Hey, so one thing I was gonna test you with, but you mentioned it in a training before, so I already know you know it. I was gonna mention why don't they teach about money in schools? Because that's what I learned from Robert Kiyosaki, the guy who wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad. But I already know you know about him, so I can't quiz you on that.
I mean, pretty much one reason why they don't want the masses to learn is because, again, it's all about keeping the majority down, right? Like if the majority doesn't know about these programs, about these places that we can save money or ways to make money, then again, that top like 1 to 5% of the population can stay there forever, right? But it's when you kind of learn more, you start utilizing, the resources that you have, like the Rich Dad Poor Dad. If no one's read that book, it's an amazing book.
Oh yeah.
Like one thing I love from that book that it talks about is like a poor dad, right? Like when his child asks him for something, he's like, oh no, we can't afford it.
Yeah, and what I love too is he always says my poor dad was the PhD department head or department chair of education and everything for a prestigious university there in Hawaii. So his dad was the most educated leader, all this stuff, and that was his poor dad. His rich dad was the one who wasn't even educated, but he understood business and he understood finances.
And you make a good point, Worm.
Oh, you could call my name too. It's all good.
Worm, right? I didn't know if you want everyone to know your real name.
It's already been mentioned once or twice. Only dedicated people.
Nice.
They really have to listen through the whole thing to catch my names every once in a while.
Nice. Well,
you can say my name.
One of the things that we've learned is that like, and especially like I feel like our generation, right? Like we were force fed, like go to college. You're gonna get a degree. You're gonna get in debt because of it. But don't worry, you're gonna get an amazing job. We're gonna make amazing money to be able to pay it, which is not the case. We all know that.
Yeah. And then you have student loans. That's more than your annual salary.
Exactly. And it goes back to saying like, you don't like getting more degrees does not equal more money. Unfortunately, it does not. Like I know people who have like their master's degree, they have a doctorate, and they work like at a bookstore making like a couple $100 like a week. And I'm like, how do you have a master's in English and a blah 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 and whatever, and you're not making the type of money that you thought you would? Again, it goes back to degrees does not equal money. At least not anymore.
Well, then how do we fix that, or how does not fix it for the we're not trying to run the country, but how do we fix it for ourselves? Well, eventually we'll get there. We'll run the world.
Hey, just vote for me.
Well, it's like I'm
not of age yet. You have to be what, 30, 35.
What are you trying to be, the president?
Yeah, why not?
Oh yeah, 35.
If Kanye could do it, well, if Kanye ran, why can't I run?
Yeah, hey man, you got enough influence. You want to do enough good in the world. I'd say go for it, man.
Only if you can write in the word your name as Worm.
Hey, for every State of the Union, I'm just gonna be drinking a beer, talking to Congress.
President Worm.
He's gonna have a cup. We're all gonna know what's in that cup.
Hey, George, we'll do a podcast in the White House. Wouldn't that be cool?
Right before every State of the Union, you go, okay, so I have this beer. I'm gonna give it a 1 point.
Let me rate it very quick. This is very important for the state of our union.
Everyone in the U.S. has that beer, and they're like, "Oh, yes."
I
You
agree.
know what it would do for the economy.
So we're going through hard times in the economy. The only suggestion I have to the people is just drink up. That's all I could say. And then I'll give stimulus package so that people could buy beer. There you go. And that'll drive up everything.
You can only use it for beer.
You can only I'll create a specific crypto token so that you could only use it for beer. Yeah, there you go. Okay, I'm sorry.
Back to
I
the
probably
question.
wouldn't
Yes,
be getting much of those tokens.
The what?
I probably wouldn't get much of those tokens because
Nope.
I drink a lot of beer.
You could use it for liquor then.
Back to the question. Worm is trying to derail us.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
How do we fix it for ourselves? Like you said, there's people even that use the degree that they went for, and they still are not getting paid or what we were promised as college students.
Well, as far as that, people who have degrees and they're not really doing they don't have any opportunity. One thing that I've learned now, because I am an entrepreneur, right? Like, part of what I do is like building an agency, and that's the goal, to build like the biggest agency in all of Texas and all US, right? That's why, like, homeboy over here in Odessa, we're expanding out there. Like, that was awesome that he's out there. And El Paso, Houston, San Antonio, we have people everywhere. But what I found is just like, if you can't do anything with your degree, they have no choice but to start your own business. Literally, like, what else can you do?
Let's start a podcast.
Or start a podcast. Start something of your own, right? Because the podcast is essentially can be a business, and it can turn into something really big, right? And obviously, it takes time, just like any business, right? It's not like a overnight thing. Like, success isn't overnight. It takes time.
Well, only if Worm would just show a little more skin, maybe a little more nipple. Just,
maybe.
come on,
right?
we would
I think
blow up.
that drives people away. Hey, but very quick though, I do want to mention this because so when I come visit, my mom mentioned this the other day, and I just found it funny. There's this lady she follows, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she just cusses a lot in Spanish, and I don't know. My mom just likes watching her and shit, like whatever. And so my mom's all like, she's all, so why don't you just make your podcast a full-time job? I'm all like, well, we haven't developed it there. She's all, well, just start doing it. I'm all, it's not that easy. We can't. And I look, the person she follows has like 200K followers. So, she's probably and she makes videos every day, but you're right. It takes time to develop that.
Did you tell your mom, hey, are you following me? Because if you want me to get a 200K, I need you to follow me too.
She doesn't find me funny. She's all like, I'm already annoyed by you when you come. So why am I going to listen to your podcast?
That's hilarious. But I like your mom. She's D-gas.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know what D-gas means.
No, what does it mean?
Doesn't give a shit.
She doesn't.
Yeah, she's like, do it, just go it. She's like, your podcast is too hard, too fast. Why aren't you going hard?
Yeah. She's all, so you're making money, right? I'm like, no, not yet.
Not yet. We will.
Not yet.
What is there? Okay, hold on.
Not a lot of money.
Going further. What does that golden rhino in the back mean? Is that a symbol?
Nice. I'm glad you see that. So the reason why I have a rhino, one gold, the aesthetics, right, of like the office. If you see, well, like it's a whole new office. We got a bigger office, our team. So and then redecorated all fancy. But the rhino, the reason why I got that is because a rhino, as far as like an animal, they only move forward, right? Like they don't. A rhino never like go backward. He just like physically can't. He always continues to move forward. So I love having the rhino there because it just kind of is a representation of like your life, of you and as a person. Again, being an entrepreneur is like, you just got to keep moving forward no matter what. Like you can't stop and like try to go backwards to change, like just keep on progressing and charging like a rhino, right? Like just go for it. And that's why I like the rhino. And then you can't see it, but I have an elephant over here, another gold one. And the reason why I have an elephant is because the elephant in the animal kingdom, they have the thickest skin out of any other animal, right? And even being in finance and doing what I do, like you have to have thick skin sometimes, right? Like there could be people that just ignore you and your phone calls, for months and stuff.
Me? I'm busy.
It's okay, right? No, I get it. But you know what I mean? You just have to have thick skin. And that's why I have those two animals, because it helps you just remind myself, continue to always move forward no matter what, and then just have thick skin, like be mentally tough. And that's the only way you're gonna win in life, is because bad things happen to everyone, adversity happens to everyone. But at the end of the day, it's like, what are you doing to keep real champions? Is about how long you get knocked down, how long does it take you to get back up? Not I'm gonna get knocked down and stay there.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense. I like that.
Hey,
So
I
it's
have to
motivate-
address her
motivate you.
comments. I have to address her comment.
it's okay. I just
No. I have to address it. You brought it up. I have to address
It's
it.
because you feel guilty, Worm, and you know you fucked up, man.
No. I don't feel guilty.
I know a part of you.
Ultimately-
I know a part of you feels it's something I do want to do. Maybe just the timing isn't right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And ultimately, I don't necessarily feel guilty and I think Clarissa would agree with this. The only person I'm really affecting is myself. Correct?
Yeah.
Exactly. So, if anything, I should be pissed at myself, but and I'm not though. You know what I mean? It's just I guess part of it's timing though. But once I get around to doing it, trust me, once I get to it, I'm 100. I'm gonna go 0 to 100 real quick. All right. So right now I'm in the process. Let's get I'm in the process of. I'm about to sell my house. I'm literally 2-3 weeks away.
Congratulations.
That was taking out a big chunk of my time, and I try to ignore George, so now George is more comfortable getting co-host. So cool. I'm moving away. Right, George?
That's why he doesn't get
It's because I actually asked him. I said, "Hey, I'll be a co-host," and he was like, "Well, would you want to be a guest instead?" I was like, "Sure."
What's that supposed to mean, George?
I figured we give you the guest spot first, and then once you're a guest, you can become the co-host. Because now we won't be asking the questions to you. You will be asking the question to somebody, or we will be talking about some random bullshit. Just right now the focus is on you, and I feel Worm is trying to take all the focus. So let's move back.
Nope.
Let's talk about. I think we jumped ahead. What are the services that you provide? If somebody wants to reach out to Clarissa.
So we do actually a lot of different services. I mean, IRAs, Roth IRAs, annuities, pension plans. We're really big on life insurance, especially with the pandemic. A lot of people, they've had to do GoFundMe's or barbecue plate sales because, the literally the virus has young, old, whatever, it doesn't matter really.
Has no boundaries.
It doesn't. I mean, I literally heard of people who are super healthy, under the age of 60, or 50, and they got it on a Friday, and by Monday they were gone, and it's crazy. So we're really huge on life insurance, just getting people protected. We also do income replacement plans. So if you get sick with any type of pretty much 75% of people, right, by the time they hit 65, they need some sort of long-term care, they get disabled or they get some sort of medical condition where they can't work anymore. So we help people have plans that if that happens to you, you can have access to the income that you would normally make, right? Because that's what you stop working because you're sick, that doesn't come in anymore for your family. So do that. We also do retirement plans. We're huge on doing tax-free. That's a big one, right? And I know that is why Joaquin was really interested in the company, because he's got so much of that tax professional experience.
A little bit.
And one thing that we talked about, I was like, hey, I bet most of the people you talk to, they probably ask where can I put my money to save it tax-free? And that's really what we show people, because these tax-free accounts, wealthy people have been using them for the longest time. That's how they transfer their wealth tax-free and don't pay any taxes to their heirs, right? To their legacy. And that's why they keep getting rich. It's the whole the rich get richer, the poor get poorer type of thing. It's because wealthy people know, they work with someone to put their money in a right place. And again, zero taxes, because wealthy people, they don't want to pay taxes on any of their money.
Yeah. Hey, I want to mention Robert Kiyosaki again. He's one of my favorite guys though, because he talks about how people always say, well, we need to tax the rich more, and he's all, well, good luck. You know what I mean? But it's true though, because they know where to put their money so that they don't get taxed.
And that's kind of goes back to the crusade of our companies, no family left behind. And pretty much that means because mostly everyday regular people like us, we've never had the opportunity to learn about finance, learn about money, where to put it, tax-free. We've just never, because we're not investing 100, 200, 300,000, right? Because that's the typical industry. They're focused on people who want to, invest that type of money because they do get like what we call like a commission, 1 to 3%. So I think I had mentioned this before, but like think about it. Probably talk to you about it, Joaquin. If I'm like a advisor at like Merrill Lynch or like a big, investment firm like that, and I get 1 to 3%, and you are a normal person and you're just like, hey, I want to invest like $2,000 a year, like maybe like $200, $2,400, right? Or $200, $2,400 a year. Well, 1% of that, 24, like they're like, no, I'm good.
It's small.
It's small. It's not worth it. That's why they're looking for the people to invest 100, 200, 300, those what we call whales.
What about Goldman Sachs?
Yeah, same thing, right? Like any of those companies. And so like for us, we're like kind of the opposite. Like we believe in helping everyday families, even if they say 50, 100, 200, whatever. We got some that do more, some that do less. It's all based on the family's goals. And I think that's amazing because even someone like I said, like ourselves that wants to save a couple $100, like it's hard to get someone to want to work with you who's, again, trying to make money off the money that you're investing. So
very quick though. So Goldman Sachs though, going back to them, like them, if you want someone who just say, I want to invest $500, that's too small for you to be able to.
I mean, they might, but most.
But usually they deal with people bigger amounts, hundreds of thousands, and everything, or a couple millions and stuff. Right, all right. So the reason I bring that up is because so the reason why I'm investing in Bitcoin, they just came out. They made an announcement that the clientele for Goldman Sachs, they're really pushing them to invest in Bitcoin. So guess what? And exactly, if these people have big portfolios, if they're investing in Bitcoin, that's just going to shoot Bitcoin's the token or the coin's just going to shoot up. So that's why I'm investing in Bitcoin, because I suspect, especially if they're buying into it, dang, that's going to get huge.
And that's awesome. But as a tax professional, what are you doing to save?
You can't sell. Well, you can't sell yet because
I know that's what I'm saying.
If you even transfer, you do something. So you have to hold on to it. It's similar to gold. It's a store of value, similar to gold, where you just wanted to keep up with inflation. Well, luckily this is better than inflation because it's actually increasing in value. But yeah, unfortunately, until they actually come up with better tax regulation for it, which I think eventually they will. All you could do is just hold on to it, though. You know what I mean? But yeah, you're right. You can't. If you do get out of it, they're gonna tax you capital gains. It's gonna be like 20%, 25%, and that's a lot. You know what I mean? So.
And that's because the taxes are low right now. Wouldn't you agree? Like they're kind of the lowest they've been, like anywhere from 10 to 35%.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. Usually, I think it used to be 35, and then they lowered it, and now with the stimulus package, that's just going to cause taxes to go even higher. So talk about inflation.
That's the tax guy. He said it, not me. So awesome. I'm glad you said that because that's what I feel is going to happen too. To be honest.
Now talk to us about it. Since you're finance, let's talk about inflation now.
Okay. Well, anyway, before we go any further,
George,
we must say, this is not advice. This is
George
just
makes me want to.
Yeah, no. If anyone wants,
I'm giving you financial advice. Listen to me.
If anyone wants to learn more, I mean, you definitely can get with me, connect with me, and we can talk more on a one-on-one basis because everyone's situation is different, right? Like think about it, like George, you have your wife, you have your kid, like your situation is different from Joaquin because you don't have any kids, right?
That he knows of, or that he's planning on.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, right? So your situation is going to be different, right? You might want a college plan. You might need some other things compared to like what he's going to need for himself. You know what I mean?
George, don't put a college plan for your kid, dude. Just invest in Bitcoin, bro. And then
Bitcoin, yeah. And so while we're talking about taxes, what I did on the Instagram, the Too Hard to Fast podcast Instagram, I reached out to people or just put out a little thing that said, hey, we're having a guest that deals with, she's a financial professional advisor, I don't know, labels. So they had some questions. So I had two that you kind of already touched on a little bit, but maybe want to expand on a little bit more. One question, I told them this was all going to be anonymous, so that's why they were comfortable asking. Say, how can I avoid taxes? And you were saying tax-free, so maybe talk a little bit more on that. The other one is, how do rich people get to keep their money, but we don't? So, like, you're hitting right on the things that people are worried about.
So, good question. So, really, there's these tax advantage accounts. Like, one of them in particular it's a 77028 tax advantage plan. And literally, the way the plan works is there's like a lot of tax codes that come with it. that are going to allow you to grow your money tax-free, take it out tax-free, right? Even transfer it to your beneficiaries when you pass away tax-free. Now, the reason why it's tax-free is because with tax advantage plans, like, so you work at elementary school, right? So you get your paycheck from your school, you pay your taxes. At that point, the government doesn't care what you do with your money because they got their taxes. So they're going to allow you to put it into the program. Again, grow it tax-free, take it out tax-free. But what do most normal people know about? All we know is tax deferred, which is like a 401k, IRAs, 403bs, like all those plans that we get at our job. And those are all taxed later, which means they take the money out of my paycheck, it has not been taxed. I'm going to put it away and grow it for the next 20, 30, 40 years. Then at the end, that's when I'm going to pay taxes on all the money I saved. So if we've never been exposed, we've never been educated on the tax-free kind of plans, how can we know how to put our money there? But the thing is, wealthy people, they have a financial professional, they have someone that they're working with that just teaches them and shows them, is like, hey, this plan, you could save your money tax-free, take it out tax-free, and when you die, your family gets it all tax-free too. There's also an aspect, and I won't get into it, but there's an aspect of like life insurance around the savings too, which then gives your family like a life insurance death benefit payout when you die too. So they not only get your money that you saved, they get the life insurance with it. And that's what wealthy people do with their money, right? Because it makes more sense of, why would I keep it in an IRA where when I die, they lock it up, they're going to take the taxes if I didn't pay taxes on whatever money's in there, right? Because remember, you never pay taxes. Then they send a check to your family. Well, when you get money, what do you have to do with it on your taxes next year? You have to claim it.
Report it as income.
So now your money got taxed twice. Once for you and then once for your family. Wealthy people are like, I don't want to pay taxes. So they put it into this program that I'm talking about, again, where once they pass away, it goes tax-free to the family. And they also get a death benefit of life insurance, all tax-free. It's like literally the life insurance death benefit tax code, the single like underused tax code in the book, like in the whole book.
So what about like anybody that's not feeling like they can trust you with their money? Because we've all heard even famous celebrities have been screwed over by their advisors and
agents.
Agents.
Yeah, no,
right?
Yeah.
So I mean, they're trusting you with this money I'm giving you. Do you get people that are untrusting, and what do you do to help them trust you?
So to be honest, I'll be completely honest, like I'm a very, like, I meet people and I automatically like just make friends with everyone, and people, they trust me very easily, right? Because they know I'm a good person. You could just kind of like, that's just the vibes, right? But if there is that case of like, they don't trust, it's really just a matter too, if someone doesn't like, they don't care until they know how much you care. So if I get to know them as a person, I did build that little relationship to figure out like, what is the main goal? Like, what is the most important thing for you and your family? Is it sending your kid to college? Is it retiring like at a certain age, like 50, 55? Is whatever the goal is, right? And so that when I'm speaking about these things that we do, I'm including everyone's vision, their dreams, like, and how like being able to save in this plan, like you can have that. I had a client, like, he really didn't really know what he wanted in retirement and really wasn't too sure. But once I kind of put the plans together with him, I showed him the numbers of if he saved this much, he'd have this much tax-free in retirement. And I told him, I want you to close your eyes. And I was like, just think about, what does retirement feel like for you? Like, what are you thinking? And I was like, are you, because every retirement is different for people, right? Some people want to be on a beach. He was like, I want to be at a beach. I feel the wind in my hair. Like, I was like, awesome. I was like, well, how much funner would it be knowing you got $400,000 tax-free? And he was like, wow, like it again, because this is a feeling, because this money that we're putting away for the future, it's like out of sight, out of mind. And it's not like a car where you buy a car and you can touch it, you feel it, like it's like you got it. This is like, I have to put this away to know that in the next 20, 30, 40 years, I'm going to be on that beach relaxing. I'm not going to be like that lady at Walmart that has to be like the greeter because she didn't plan well enough and has to work because there's not enough money in retirement. So
there's nothing wrong with that lady at Walmart.
No, there's nothing wrong, right? No, and I'm not. And then and I'm glad you said that, because I don't want people to take that the wrong way. But let's be completely honest with ourselves.
Yeah, no, what you mean? I know what you mean. Is like it sucks when she like this lady at Walmart exists. She probably worked as a teacher or as a speech therapist somewhere, earned all this money, killed herself doing it so she can retire from it. But then it's like, oh fuck, I have to work.
It's not
somewhere
enough.
else.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
I have
enough.
to keep doing
And
something.
And the biggest problem is because most of us are saving with just in like that 401k IRA, which again, it's taxable. You got to pay taxes, but it's also directly invested into the stock market. So the market goes down, you're losing money. So that's a big thing we've seen too is think about it. You're 59, you're about to retire, but the pandemic hit and now your account, you lost 40%.
Last year in March and April, things went,
So imagine that, like you can there's no way that you can retire if you lost 40% in your account. You're like, well, crap, I got to keep working for another 5-10 years just to make up. And if you think about it, guys, like the people who are retiring now, they've lost 3 times in their accounts or maybe more now because they lost in 2001, the dot-com boom. People lost money in their accounts. 2008, when the market crashed because of the mortgage bubble, they lost money. And then this past year in the pandemic. So imagine working and you lost money 3 times in your retirement.
And that's within a 20-year span. Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
So
let me get to another question.
Sure.
This other question says, because I think you kind of mentioned it, is an IRA Roth a wise choice for retirement planning? How much should be used to open?
Okay, good. So a Roth IRA is a really good plan. There are a couple of downsides, I would say. It's good because it is tax advantage, right? You pay your taxes on your money going in. You're going to put it in. You can grow it tax-free, take it out tax-free. But if you need to access money before you're 60, there is a 10% penalty on the growth of your account, which a Roth IRA is something you go get on your own. I don't think anyone should pay a penalty on their own money if they need to take it out. And then it's also directly invested in the stock market. So you could save like $100,000 tax-free, but then the pandemic hit. What happened to all your tax-free money? It's down, right? That 77028 plan, it's like a Roth IRA on steroids because it's in a certain type of strategy where you get the upside of the market and you get a floor where if the market crashes, you don't lose. But then you also get that benefit of like the tax-free too. But also too with a Roth, like there's limitations on how much you can put in. It's like $5,500 every year. And for some people, that's like, man, that's a lot. Like that's saving about $500 a month. But there are a lot of families that are like, we can save way more than that, right? Like we can save more, and we want to save more than $5,000 tax-free every year. So that's why if you do have a Roth, you're thinking that's awesome. But I tell people if you have a Roth and you want to keep that, cool. But also consider like if you want to save more money tax-free, these other plans, there's no limitations on how much money you could put in based on how it's structured. So like rich people, because the Roths do have like income limitations. You make over like 120 single, can't get a Roth. I think you make over 180 or 200 as a couple, can't get a Roth. So again, wealthy people, they can't even participate in Roth, so they go get these other plans, again, where they're able to save way more money than the $5,000. But again, we can structure it. If someone just wants to save $3,000 a year, we can structure that plan to do that too. So that's the cool thing as well. But a Roth is a good plan. There are just other options too. But a good place, I would say, as far as savings for the future, and this might sound a little harsh to people, and they might be like, oh my God. But the rule of thumb is you should be saving your age with a 0 behind it every month for your to have like a sensible and a good retirement. So like if you're 25, you should start focusing on saving $250 a month. Like start consistently doing that. 26, 260. Because think about it, if you were to start that at 20, $200 every month, $200, and then at 21, 210. 220. Like you're only going up $10 every year, but that's gonna add up and it's gonna create that habit of savings where you don't even feel it because every year it's just $10 more.
Yeah, definitely.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
That's a good rule.
I was looking like I didn't know what you were saying, but really I was trying to pretend, or I was trying to think of what my age was. I couldn't remember if I'm 33 or 34.
You're like,
Oh, I thought you were
think
44,
we
bro.
should just-
You look for that. Hey, very quick though. Going back to where you said you don't believe that people should be penalized to take out what they put in. So when I used to do taxes, I hated when people would they would give me their forms and then I see a 1099-R. I'm like,
Mhm.
damn it, because I already know they're gonna complain. Because after I do their taxes, if they didn't pay no tax, then they're gonna be, why do I owe? I thought I was expecting this much in my refund. I'm all, because you didn't pay nothing in to take out. They get charged what 20%, 20, you know what I mean? Or initially sometimes they'll just pay the 10%, thinking, cool, I already paid tax on it, but they fail to
That's the
realize you're gonna get
penalty.
taxed again at your income tax, another 10% or 15%. And so they would always get pissed. I hated when I saw 1099-Rs. I still do.
And that's another thing that we do, Joaquin and George, is we teach people about 401ks and IRAs, like how they work when you want to take money out. Because like, think about it. They teach us about, hey, just put it in, you're going to save money. But no one ever teaches us like, how does it work when I need to access the money if there's an emergency? And that's why people get into that. They don't know there's a 10% penalty. They don't know they have to pay the taxes. And that's when they're like, 30% in penalties and taxes. What the heck?
Why would somebody get into that if they're, let's say they're taught or what things mean? Like, why would somebody get into it, or are they tricked into it by somebody? Is there
Like a 401k on IRA?
no, like the what was it, a 1090?
1099-R?
Oh, no.
That's if you no. You elect, I guess, to take out of your retirement. So if you have a 401k, let's say you build up 30,000 and you say, oh, well, I want to take out 10,000 of it. Cool. And then they'll ask you, do you want to pay the tax now or later? Even when you say now, they'll only take out 10%. So they think, oh, I already paid taxes. But then when they do their income tax, they fail to realize you're getting penalized at 20% to take out. So they really have to pay 2,000. So even though they paid 1,000, then they have to pay the other 1,000 when they do their income tax. And they fail to realize. So no, they don't get tricked. It's just, I guess they don't read the fine print. But all that stuff's complicated sometimes. So, you know, people, if you need the money, you just need the money. You don't care. You'll deal with the next issue later on. You know what I mean?
So let's say there's somebody very ignorant on things, not for their own doing or anything. What's the best way for them to learn? They don't want to be in a program or anything, but what is the best way for a person to just get educated for themselves to not make mistakes like that?
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, part of like right now it's financial literacy month, so we're on a huge campaign to just like educate and like show families. Joaquin has seen the presentation before, and we teach concepts. We teach like 3 concepts: compound interest, right, where you should be putting your money to grow it fastest. Sorry, like almost.
That's you're good.
Okay, you drank too much. It's all right. Nah, just
Too hard, too fast.
too hard, too fast. Can't wait for your too hard, too fast story.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, I even just lost my train of thought.
Literacy, financial
No,
literacy.
Yeah, so
literacy,
financial
the
literacy
presentation.
month. Yeah, so the presentation has a bunch of concepts. Like I said, the how to grow your money, how to invest it, the compound interest, and then the taxes. But we also show people like how the 401k works, how the money is invested. We show options if you want to see about like securing it. We just show everything. So if people want to learn more, I mean, that's a free service that we do just to educate. Because remember, the mission is no family left behind. Like my whole goal is just to show people the information, and from there they decide what they want to do with it. Because like I said, we offer so many services. We also do like debt management, we do wills, we do trust, we do everything for financial services. So maybe someone might not need to invest, they got it all, but they're like, hey, I need to get my will in place. We can help them with that. So it's just literally just showing them so they know, and then they can decide what area they want to focus on. Or if they're like, no, I have all my ducks in a row. Really, my next question was like, well, who do you know that needs to hear this? And usually they usually are like, well, you know what, my son, he should hear this. And that's a big part of the business is like word of mouth. Like I get a lot of referrals. That's why it goes back to like the whole trust thing. I don't have that problem because I help Joaquin. He's super pumped up, fired up about the tax-free plan. And he's like, man, what he tells you, he's like, man, George, because you're his best friend, man, I'm saving tax-free. Like you need to talk to my friend Clarissa.
I don't know.
Or whatever, right? And then you say you need to talk to Clarissa, see if she could help you and Jen like get on track too, right? And that's it. And so you already trust Joaquin, you trust his judgment. He wouldn't put you in something that's bad. So automatically it kind of builds that trust here as well.
I wish you
will-
trusted
I
me.
will
You don't
say-
believe a damn thing I say, but it's all right.
It's
I
okay,
will
my-
say I trust
me.
Worm with my life, but do I trust him with
But not my money.
I don't know.
or his liquor or his beer.
Oh, here,
I hope
hold
that
on. Let's
answered
see
the
if I have
que- I
any
hope
more
that
questions.
answered the
Hey,
question.
you know what we haven't done?
You did.
Cheers. Clarissa, George, cheers.
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 I already finished with the Howler,
Hey.
but I got some vodka in here.
There
To
you go,
make
cheers.
money, huh? Making money.
Becoming millionaires, tax free.
Tax free.
Retiring young.
Hey, cash rules everything around me.
It really does. Cash is king. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dollar bills,
I'll
yeah.
answer that question.
Here's one more question. Yeah, you did. One more question that we had. I mean, we got a lot of not stupid questions. They were like too hard to.
I
pass.
got stupid questions.
Obviously, one was here. I'll say one. One question that we got was if if we go
Too hard, too
if we're
fast.
out on a business trip.
As long as it's not the Bahamas, you're all right, right?
Are escorts tax deductible? So that's one.
So I'm not a tax
And then you-
professional,
no,
so I feel like
don't
that would
answer
be
that.
more of Joaquin's area.
Well, I'm not a certified tax professional right now. I don't have my.
So, but I would say
But
probably
no,
not.
hell no.
I know.
But now, if you take that escort to dinner, you can write off all the food, right? That's just like a new thing I saw.
Well,
like,
yeah. Well, it depends how it comes out on the bill. So very, very quick, I can't remember what city it was, but there's a restaurant that they're naming their food items with office supply names. So like a hamburger's called like, I don't know, like a
stapler?
speaker or something like that. That way people could deduct it in their taxes. It's kind of smart. Like, hey, so it depends how it depends how it comes out on their bill.
How it's spent.
Well, I had seen something though on like Google or something that they said like for this year that the IRS is allowing like any food like you can write it off for if you have a business.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool because usually I think it was like 50% only. That you could,
Before it used to be just 50%.
so that's kind of cool.
Or and as long as you talk 50% business too. So
Well, I'm surprised this actually brought up a conversation. I thought it was a funny thing that somebody said.
There's no dumb questions, right?
Right,
no, wait, but if you're in Vegas,
you haven't seen the ones I cannot even put on here.
Hey, but if you're in Vegas and it's legal in that district in Vegas, and you take clients there, and you're gonna talk 50% business, then yeah, you could deduct the whole thing.
Well, okay, so let's talk, look. Well, no, hold on.
I went out of a limb on that one, but
I was gonna say
maybe
like,
not.
strippers is a business that you can have. So if you spend on strippers as a business trip, is that something? I don't know. Asking for a friend.
If it's with clients, then I just talk to your tax professional. But very quick,
You gotta talk to your tax professional about entertainment.
Okay.
talk to your accountant. But wait, very quick, because when I used to work at some place doing taxes, though, there was a stripper that would come. So she was the exotic dancer, I guess, right? And she would deduct all her stuff, all her makeup and everything. So she was allowed to do that because that was her own business.
Mhm.
So
They're 1099. They're independent.
yeah. So
You can write it off. The hair extensions, the everything, right?
yeah, all of that,
Anything
and
that
she
you need for
would.
your
She had
business.
like a folder of everything she spent,
Mhm.
all her clothes and
A
everything.
smart lady right there.
Yeah,
I have one more question from the social medias. I want to ask this one, and then we'll close it out with your too hard too fast story and where people can reach you. This one is, I think, what probably everybody thinks. What's an easy way to actually make my money work for me? We hear it all the time. Make your money work for you. Is it investment, Bitcoin, or something else?
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing is when you want to make your money work for you is you just got to have it in programs and accounts that are yielding like a higher rate of return. So like the banks right now, like checking and savings, they give us 0.01%. Like that's nothing.
I know.
Based on like this equation, and if you sit down with me, I'll teach you more about it. But in our checking and savings, it takes over 7,000 years for that money to double or compound. Even in a CD or 1%, it takes about 72 years to compound. So we got to find programs that are doing, 7, 8, 10, 12, 15, 20% rate of return. I'm super proud because One of my clients, he got 15.23% rate of return, no losses throughout the entire pandemic.
Wow, that's amazing. And very quick though, but even if you just have like, let's say in your checkings account and it just sits there, even no interest and stuff, you're still losing money because of inflation, usually on average 2%. So your money even declines just you holding on to it. Right?
Exactly.
So,
That's a great point because it's totally true what he said. Because if again inflation's 2 to 3%, but the bank's giving us 0.01, our money is actually losing value there. Again, that's even why when I sit down with people, right? Like even I've sat down with some educators, right? Their annuities or their programs are like at a 2% rate of return or 3%, and I'm like,
you're pretty breaking even.
Exactly. I'm like, you need something that's gonna get you more.
So what's happening to my money?
And this is why I drink, because all this stuff makes me depressed.
Drink some more. Under the mattress. So this is the thing, because we got a lot of people who are like, well, I just have it in my mattress or it's in a coffee can or whatever, right? And I'm like, that's cool.
Sock drawer.
But there are some downsides to that. One, even in the bank, it's still making that 0.01. So there is some interest. So in your mattress, no interest whatsoever. So the money is losing value. Two, it's not protected, because even in the bank, it's protected. And what I mean by that is by someone stealing it, right? Someone knows you have it in your sock drawer, they can come get it. Also, too, like from protecting from like fire and flood. That's, I think, a thing people don't think about. Fire happens in your house, you have all your life savings there, it's completely gone.
I think insurance will only do like 2,000 max or something like that.
I'm not even sure about that, but think about that.
You have to prove that you had that, man, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of
I don't know how to prove that.
Yeah. So that's what I say is like a downside. Like if you keep it, like that, there's no protection, there's no growth. So that's kind of what I say about keeping your money under your mattress. It really doesn't do anything for you.
So investments, like let's say, the thing is right now, Robinhood, public.com.
And
everybody's
those are good.
Trying to
those
invest.
Are good for like if you want to just play the stocks and stuff. We teach people about something. It's an index strategy, right, where you get the upside potential of like the stock market, but if it goes down, you don't lose, you lock in. Anyone wants to learn about that, we can get together and I can explain it more too. But that way is like you're getting the upside of the market with none of the losses, so you don't have to worry about like, oh man, the other day I saw someone who was like, oh, I just lost like I don't know how much money in the stock market because their Robinhood thing, right? It's all red now. And so I'm just like, well, if you would have saved it in a different strategy, you would still have it, right? So again, it's all about just education and awareness, knowing about the different strategies that you can invest in, that there are some that are actually a lot more safer, and you still get growth, which is what we want, right? We don't want to lose. That's why we use the bank, right? Because we know it's safe. Yep. That's why people don't invest in the stock market, because they're like, well, I don't want to lose it. But with this hybrid model that we talk about, you get to the upside of the market, but you don't lose because it's like the safety of the bank.
Nice. And I like that strategy that you talked about the levels, and then you don't lose. Yeah. You explained that to me outside the podcast. If anybody wants to really get into that, they should contact you. Oh, we say
how
can somebody contact you?
So you
Worm,
can.
That was my question, Worm.
Okay,
that was mine. I thought.
No, that was mine.
Clarissa,
wait.
Question was it first?
This was.
And let her decide. Whose was it? Was it George's or was it?
Wait, what?
Nothing.
What's your contact? How do people get a hold of you?
You can find me. You can find me on Instagram or on TikTok. It's Clarissa Castillo WFG. You can also find me on my Facebook, Clarissa Nicole Castillo.
Always moving forward. Okay, 2 more questions, and then we're wrapping it up. Okay. This one's a hard-hitting question. You ready?
Okay, let's do it.
On Instagram, Too Hard, Too Fast podcast, polls. People get to vote. Which is more likely to be real? Love at first sight or trust at first sight?
I'm just I didn't mean to influence. I'm just joking. I don't know.
I honestly, for me, I feel like you said what's easier for people, love at first sight or trust?
What is more likely to be real?
Oh, more likely to be real.
Likely to be real. What do you mean by real?
Whatever you want to believe.
You know what? That's a pretty deep question, man. That's like totally like caught me off guard.
I know.
Like which one's legit, not just what you feel. It's like which one is
I'm gonna
actually
say,
to be true.
I'm gonna say I feel like trust at first sight. I feel like it's probably could be more real because obviously like the whole like love at first sight, it's not really love, it's more like lust, right? Because like you kind of just like
Or infatuation.
Infatuation. It's not really like real for say, you know. I feel like you meet someone and you automatically like because people we can feel like people's energy, people's vibes, like their wavelengths, their integrity just by meeting them, like their body language, the way they are. And I think that's more real because it's like you actually can like you feel that from the person, like I can trust this person.
All right, so after 24 hours, people voted.
Hey,
and
wait, George. Can I say one thing?
Sure.
I say I believe in love and foresight. As soon as I saw this guy, I fell in love.
Okay, so if it's a dog, I agree, right? If it's an animal,
It's an animal.
Okay, well, after 24 hours, people voted, and we do this randomly every now and then on the Instagram. This is one that got the most interaction with so far, and it really created a bunch of debate. And I'm really surprised. Out of everybody that voted, it was 50-50.
Wow.
Really surprised. This is just a fun thing, but it really caused a lot of like debate, even with coworkers. They were like, "Well, what do you mean love at first sight or trust at first sight?" I'm not gonna love. I will love somebody first, but what if they're a killer? I'm not gonna go on a date with them. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. What? Like you have to trust them. You're gonna trust them that they're gonna pick you up and drive you to the restaurant they promised. I don't know. It's a whole thing. It's a thing. Anyway.
that's why I was
My
kind of
issue,
on the
my
fence.
issue is I'm always late to every date, so imagine that.
Well, then you tell her 30 minutes later, then you expect to be there.
You gotta give them that desire. You know what I mean? You gotta give them that anticipation. That's what.
Digressing from it, it was a good question. But the better question is, Clarissa, what is your too hard, too fast story?
That was about Anthro.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe that I'm going to be saying this, but disclaimer, I was 21 years old. I am a lot older than that now.
Oh, aren't you 23? So that was 2 years ago. All right, 2 years
more
ago.
like times like plus 12, right? But so it was 21st birthday, and I think we first started off with we went to Chili's with my mom. It was like me and my boyfriend at the time. And we went to Chili's with my mom, and we were like drinking those margaritas, like the Presidente ones with the shaker. That was the thing back then. Remember that? Like,
did you steal the shaker? Did you steal the shaker?
I think I did. I think they let me take it because it was my birthday, right?
So yeah, they did.
We did that, and then after that, I remember that my cousin, she was like, I want to take you to a few places that I love to go to, and so we went to the mariachi bar in Mi Tierra, and just so happened that one of my really good friends from high school that I hadn't seen in a long time was a bartender there. So, oh my gosh, so that already got it started. He was like, you're 21st, right? Shots. There's obviously at the Mi Tierra, there's a lot of tourists. So they're like, it's your birthday. Let us buy you a drink, right? So it was like chaos, right? And then after that, we went to Azuka, right? Just there in Southtown. I don't know if you guys are familiar or no. It's like a Latin bar, and they have my cousin, like, they have the best.
I don't do Latin things.
Okay. She was like, they have the best mojitos. Like, we gotta go. Obviously, I never had a mojito. I'm like, okay, whatever. So we go there. We have mojitos, and then I think by that time it's like we're going. I think we get back to Olu, and then my other friend picks us up, and now we're going to Antro, right, to meet the rest of my friends and the group. And I mean, honestly, like all I remember is that one of my friends' boyfriends gave me like an alligator bite shot or something like that, or a 4-horse, or one of those crazy ones. I just remember, all I remember was like a light in my face, and they're like, you gotta go. And I'm like, but it's my 21st birthday. It's my 21st birthday. And they're like, no, you gotta go. And my friends, I mean, they probably should have taken me home, but they took me to Mama Margie's. And,
no, that's the best place to end up at.
And supposedly I was like too zonked out that the police were like, dude, take her home already. Like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, y'all came to eat, take her home. But I was lucky enough that they weren't like, hey, like, you know, mean about it or kind of like, hey, she's too drunk, we're gonna take her in. They were kind of like nice about it and maybe pretty much intoxicated in public. But I would say that's probably like one of the hardest. Yeah, like too hard, too fast. Like, but it was so sweet. My boyfriend at the time, like I don't know how he did it, but he took the contacts out of my eyes. Like I woke up and I was like, wow, you took out my contacts. He was like, yeah, I don't know how I did it, but I did. I was like, oh, you're so sweet. It was so nice of you. But yeah, that's kind of like too hard, too fast. Like, but one thing I wanted to share that happened to an Olu, nothing to do with drinking, right? But I feel like it's like it was a really too hard, too fast. It was like you guys know at Olu how like, especially with speech path, I don't know if it's the same, but we only had like one class, like literally the same, like I had the same classes with the same 30 people. Like we would take all the same classes together, right?
Cohort, yeah.
Yeah. And so if there was a class that was given like our senior year in the fall, and if you did not pass it, you had to wait a whole another year because they don't offer the course again till the next fall. So there's like so much pressure to pass this course to get to the spring semester to graduate, right? So much pressure. And then like I remember the professor was like, she was like, oh, we're gonna go over these the PowerPoints, and I'm gonna tell you everything that's gonna be on the test. This bee, she literally every slide on the test. I had like 100 flashcards. I was like, what the hell, right? So finals, like I'm like, I cannot afford to not graduate. Like 4 years, like this is it. Like I'm ready to get out of this. I'm tired of being a poor college student. Like I need to graduate. I think I stayed up for like, I don't know how many days, maybe 3 or 4 days. I literally was just drinking the Monster Energies, like energy drinks. And I remember I was in my dorm and I was like so like I was drinking them, right? But I was so tired. And I was like, man, I'm really tired. Like I feel tired. And I went to sleep to lay down and I just could not go to sleep. My heart literally like felt like it was like pounding out of my chest. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? I was like, I told my roommate, I think I got to go to the nurse practitioner. I was like, I don't know what's going on. So I get there and then she's like, how many of these things have you drank? How many days have you been up? And I'm like, 3 or 4 days. I don't know. I've had like 12. I don't know.
Oh my God.
And then she was
That's
like,
too hard, too fast.
She was like, just go to your room and try to relax. She's like, I don't know what else to tell you, but just don't drink those anymore. And to be honest, since then, I really don't drink energy drinks because it was the worst feeling. I mean, I don't even know how people do like drugs that make their heart go like really fast. It's just the worst feeling ever.
Did you crash?
I did. I think I slept for like a whole day or two once all that got out of my system. But yeah, it was a crazy experience. As I tell people, if they drink energy drinks, like be careful. Like that stuff can kill you.
Hey, but you passed your exam though, right?
By the grace of God, I did. I passed. Right. Because with speech path too, they make you sign a contract that you have to keep a 3.0 grade point average. So like if you get a C in a class, the next other class you gotta have an A. So it's like a lot of pressure. Yeah. But I was like bees. Let's just focus on getting bees. So yeah, so that's kind of another too hard to story, right?
That's awesome.
Stories, and I like both of them.
A little Olu moment, right? To kind of bring it back to how we all know each other.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And also, I was surprised how much you were able to fit in for a one night as a 21-year-old. You know, that's a lot.
Like I think about it and I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, how did I even think I would even survive? Because I really didn't like drink a lot. Like I wasn't like George, did you ever know me to be that person that's like being all blitz? No, that wasn't.
No, I would have been done at Mi Tierra.
I don't even know. And obviously the car ride home wasn't the best, if you know what I mean.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, we had pit stops. Car rides.
I felt bad for my friend. I was like, I can help you detail your car. I'll pay for it.
No, I've had a couple of those moments.
But he was like, don't worry, it was your birthday. He's like, you look so cute, like a little baby.
It makes you feel better. I think
long time ago, not the same person.
Now she's a financial professional.
And now you're professional.
And she knows what she's doing. She's like a rhino, just always moving forward. So
I'm a drinking professional, so.
Amen. With that said, we're closing out the podcast. Now the podcast down the drain. Clarissa, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for being.
Thank you for not yelling at me, getting mad. But
no,
once I'm ready,
I'm just your coach. I'm just your coach. I'm your trainer.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
But no, I appreciate you guys having me on. I thought it was pretty awesome that we could talk about all this stuff during Financial Literacy Month, right? And Anyone want to reach out, need my help, feel free. I'm going to do my best to, help you guys and help your audience. And I'm excited. I already seen like 2 or 3 of the podcasts, so I'm excited to see the next one that you guys do. And hopefully in the future I could be a co-host because it sounds like a lot of fun.
Nice.
Oh, for sure.
Thank you. Hey, and that would save me. That would save me some time so I
Yeah,
can
you can study for your test.
Exactly.
See?
George, you're taking away my time, bro. Shoot.
Okay. All her information is going to be in the description if you're watching on YouTube.
Right.
If you're on any audio podcast, it's also in the description. Reach out. But with that said, Worm, what are you going to say?
Oh, shoot. $dollar bills, y'all. Go talk to Clarissa.
Let me help you be a millionaire, tax-free, millionaire, tax-free.
Tax-free.
Let's do it.
$dollar bills.
Quoting a former guest, pay me my money. And with that said, Clarissa, thank you one more time. Remember, dare to be you, dare to be weird. Bye.